Alright people, how you doing? Today is June 16, 2018. 6:37 a.m. in the morning here in Texas. But I wanted to make this video, alright? I wanted to talk about why I choose wolf. Now this is a video that I wanted to make for quite some time. Okay. Ever since Mr. Research talked about it, this whole concept, it really resonated with me because, for years we've had stuff like MGTOW, okay, we've had stuff like IPMOR trying to create the new code for men, okay, or the new code that men go by in the 21st century, okay, because of all these laws and stuff that are against men and the way this American court system and stuff is set up, and feminism is spreading throughout the world. Okay, so you have this ideology called MGTOW that came up and within the last decade, and MGTOW basically says that society is hopeless, your possibility of you having a good relationship with the opposite sex is hopeless, so therefore the best you can hope for is for this society to collapse, for the system to collapse and fall on its face, and then I guess they can rebuild, a new society on top of the ashes of the old. Then you have the whole IPMOR, which IPMOR really was a reaction to MGTOW. IPMOR was a bunch of black dudes that were in MGTOW, but because they saw all the racial tendencies of a lot of the MGTOW content makers, they wouldn't just form IPMOR, but they essentially have the same mindset as MGTOW, though, when it comes to a lot of things. Basically this whole mindset that the environment has changed, there's nothing men can do about it, except sit and wait for the system to collapse or whatever, or to, some MGTOW claim that they're trying to fix the system, they're trying to change it or whatever, but I don't really see them doing that in like an organized fashion or a methodical fashion. And there's nothing tangible that they could really point to say, okay, this is the methodology that we're using to get what we want. So as a result, I became an IPMOR, I want to say about 3 years ago, but then I drifted away from IPMOR because I didn't really see those guys really doing much, in my opinion, that was effective to change, that address the situation. I was actually really good friends with Adigan Forrest, who was the black man who founded IPMOR, and I used to talk to him a lot. Like, I want to say 3-4 years ago, I used to go on hangouts and stuff. I used to talk to him all the time. You know what I mean? He was a real good dude. Adigan Forrest was a real good brother, man. But at the end of the day, IPMOR was an ideology that didn't have the tangible ability, or wasn't even seeking the tangible ability to really address the situation. You know what I mean? And so that's why I left it. I mean, at one point, those brothers was talking about meeting up in a city at one point and having like a conference or something. I was considering going, but then I asked them later, well, what did you guys do at the at the conference? And then they were like, oh, we sat and we meditated and we fasted and we talked about a bunch of spiritual stuff, which is fine if you're into that kind of thing, but I didn't really see them doing like a whole lot of tangible stuff, to address the situation. So as a result, I lost interest and I drifted away from IPMOR over time. Fast forward to 2018, and you got Mr. Research, who's been a very good YouTuber, a black male YouTuber over the years. and he has proposed wolf. And his wolf ideology has really resonated with me because it basically says we're going to put our faith in our sons. Okay, we're going to use every means at our disposal. We're going to use legal means, monetary means, whatever, to protect ourselves, to protect our assets, and to protect our legacy, irregardless of what the female population or polity decides to do. Okay? And it's just a very good concept, in my opinion, because it finally puts men in a position of being autonomous. Okay? Of choosing their destiny autonomously. We're not waiting on what women do or what the society does, what the government does. Okay, we're not waiting on the dollar to collapse or for women to, get in full political power and start infighting with each other. We're not waiting on the West to collapse or whatever. We're not doing that. What we're doing is say we are going to protect ourselves, so we have a legacy, a workable legacy to pass on to our sons, so they can go on into the future and be able to, still be able to take care of themselves and to pass on their legacy. Okay, and that's powerful because that's not something that you really hear from MGTOW or Ibmore. Ibmore will tell you things like don't have kids, don't reproduce, don't breed. And it's a white boy ideology because white boys can afford to do that. Because whites are the majority in most Western nations, and especially in the United States, they can afford to sit up there and not have kids, or because and not be lackadaisical, not participate in the tax base and stuff, simply because of numbers. They have enough residual wealth and stuff that they can live off of. What y'all black dudes don't realize about a lot of these MGTOWs is a lot of these guys have residual wealth, okay, from their family, or that they've inherited, that they're just living off of, that they're using to create businesses and stuff that they live off of, you know what I mean? And then, so they live off these businesses, and then they make YouTube channels telling you, how you should live your life, when in reality, they're living a life that is subsidized by residual wealth that you as a black man don't have because you haven't built it up yet. But their very ideology is designed to discourage you from doing so, designed to discourage you from building a legacy and building something which future generations can live off of. So what sense does that make? How does that really make sense? And then a lot of these white boys, they're not going to tell you what kind of old money they come from, what kind of money that their family got or that they inherited or whatever. They're not going to tell you that shit. Okay, I'm saying it's an elitist mentality. That's another thing. I need to make a whole video series about how MGTOW is an elitist mentality. It's an elitist mindset. You know what I mean? I need to do a whole series on that. You know what I mean? But like I said, that's why I chose wolf, because wolf is actually sustainable and it allows men to kind of be able to control their own destiny instead of being victims of the current situation out here. You know what I mean? And I would actually in the future like to see wolf become more integrated with real men's rights activists that are actually out there and trying to get stuff passed in favor of men and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I would like to see that going into the future. You know what I mean? But I choose wolf. And I'm glad Mr. Research, he took the time to sit down and think this out, because this actually gives black men a way to move forward that's actually positive, and that actually involves productivity and being a productive individual for your community, and just instead of just sitting and being a victim of what's going on. Anyways, thank you for watching. Leave comments, like, and subscribe. Peace.